Hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news from geeks like you. I am your host, Summer Punch, and with me we have Chuck.
What's up, everyone? What's going on?
And Santel.
Yo, what's cracking, baby? Happy Monday. Let's get this bad boy started.
Happy Monday. Okay, all right. We know how you feel right now. How was your weekend, Chuck?
It was good.
Yeah?
My weekend was real good, actually.
What'd you do?
I rested a little bit, and one of my Morehouse brothers came in town to do a fundraiser. He's running for governor of Arkansas.
Okay.
And he's
Chris stopped by.
All right, what's his name? Let's give him a
Chris
shout out.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
He's running against
Chris
Sarah
Jones.
Huckabee too, which is really
Good luck to him. All the
Oh yeah.
doing God's work. People out there in YouTube and Facebook land, vote for Chris Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's a friend of Chuck. He's a friend of ours.
He did a Luke Skywalker commercial.
Oh, you know him too? Okay, if he's a friend of Chuck's, he's a friend of ours.
Yeah. Well, Santel went to school with him too. Santel went to school with him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Somebody here got my joke. At least one person got my joke. Guys, my weekend was great. Guess what I did? I
What'd you
went
do?
full nerd. I went fucking full all-in nerd. This is the deepest I go. I went to Renaissance Fair and I dressed up like a fucking hunter wood elf bandit. My merry band of thieves with me. There was 12 of us.
Nice.
We just kind of fucking around, fucking shit.
Right. So you went to the
listen,
Renaissance Fair.
I went to
It was the last
Renaissance Fair.
weekend too, right?
No, there's several weekends more, which I'm just so delighted by because I might go again.
Oh, that's
Did you partake in some mead?
I thought it was like 2 weekends.
Did I partake in some mead? Yes.
Did you partake in some
Yes, I did.
mead?
There was jousting. There was drinking. There was archery. I did some art. Is that how I say it? I did some archery. I arched. How do I say?
I arched.
I arched.
I did some archery, I think. Is it?
And it's fucking bullseye after bullseye, but it was also very close. And I was like, I wanted to feel good. I wanted to feel like I was skilled. And they just moved the target closer. And I felt good and like I was skilled. So mission accomplished, you know? I had a great
Get your
fucking
Legolas on. Yeah.
Did you see the king and queen?
I did. You know what's funny is that I feel like everybody wants to be like, I'm going to be a part of the pageantry and, you know, part of the nobility. But being there, it's just like I see the people dress up as like the royalty. And I'm like, that is literally the last thing I would want to cosplay as right now. I want to be a riff-raff, ragged, tagged kind of like fuck shit up kind of people, kind of crew, you know, swiper stop swiping kind of thing. You know, like I want to be a
You said swiping type of thing.
Yeah, I'm a swiper. I want to be.
So you want to be a thief?
Yeah. Oh, I was the thief. I was a thief swiping shit, not from the stores, but you know, my friends. We had a great idea. We decided that Ren Fair should offer a rogues pass. right? Where you're just like, you have to wear something that identifies you. It's almost like a hide and seek kind of concept, right? You come in, you pay a special fee to be a rogue, and then you have the ability to swipe things. You have to put something in place so people know they've been swiped, you know? But wouldn't that be a fun game? Like, let's.
You know what that's going to lead to?
No.
That's going to lead to unnecessary padding and lawsuits. So I'm just
looking for a license to steal.
Did anybody try to run up on
somebody
the
gonna grab something? It's gonna be a wrap.
There's only 5 a year, and then I get all. No, I don't know. Somehow in my mind, on all the mead, it was a great idea at the moment. It might have been a media, my idea. Mead.
Yeah.
There's no high.
Media.
My media. The media.
Media.
I don't know. It was fun though. It was fun. I had a great time.
That
Hey,
sounds
full
like
nerd.
fun.
I went to one a long time ago during a different time. And I remember one of the things that cracked me up, it's wildly inappropriate, I'm saying anyways, because I don't give a damn. This lady showed up and she was like, hello, I'm your wench for the evening. And I was like, yo, we get wenches? Are we still allowed to say and or receive wenches in today's Renaissance fair?
Yes.
There's a whole wench show. It was a fucking.
There's a wench show?
Yeah, there's like a wench comedy show. And it's called The Wenching Wells or the
Wenching Wells.
The wenching wells. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and
that
there's
sounds
two wenches
amazing.
that just like go up to a well and they're just like, you know, just
Do
like
they twerk?
cleaning laundry, and like there was definitely twerking actually. It was just like heckling people, heckling the audience.
Yeah, I need to get back.
Like, it was a great time. It was a really great time. It was a great time. And then people came up to me because like I had, well, if I do say so myself, I had one of the better costume attires, cosplays, and sorry, my big. And people came up to me, and I got like side quest after side quest. And I don't know if this was like an organized thing amongst the fair, but people kept coming up to me and they're like, "Hey, I need help from you." And I was like, "Okay, yes, I will help." And they're like, they gave me some fucking doubloons. Somebody gave me coins. They looked ancient and shit. And they're like, "I need you to pass the message on to this person, to this person." I garbled the message. I went over there. Nobody had any idea what was going on, but it was basically a side quest IRL. I loved it.
Nice.
And I got some coins out of it. Somebody else got a sword. I don't know what's happening.
What?
They didn't even know what's happening. I thought they were like trying to create some magic for me and like trying to create this world. And then I gave them like the message that I was supposed to pass on. And they're like, "Okay, what am I supposed to do now?" I'm like, "I don't know either. This is fun though." It was great.
Nice.
It was a grand old time. And you know what? Next year, or maybe even next time, I was going to do this year because sometimes you see people come up and they're like, you know, they have their like Hanfu styles or like they're samurais. People come in like their heritage, you know? And so I was going to do that Arabian, you know, because medieval times, it doesn't have to be European.
Yeah.
Mine was non-continent specific. I was like basically like a wood elf, a hunter. But next time I'm gonna go as like an assassin, hashish assassin, which is Arab. So I don't know.
I'm here for it.
Great time all around. Got pretty drunk. It was sunny. All right, guys, let's get into the actual news for today. And I think y'all know what we're gonna talk about. Elon, he bought something today. He bought a thing. He bought a little toy. That little toy is Twitter. He fucking bought Twitter, all of it. He just bought all of it. So Twitter has accepted a buyout from Elon Musk for a total of $44 billion dollars. So the company announced in a press release today that Musk purchased the company at 54.2 a share, and the same price named his initial offering on April 14th. So he says free speech is a bedrock of a functioning democracy. Well, I don't know what democracy is functioning over here, but sure, yeah, in theory. All right, well, anyways, he goes on to say that Twitter is the digital town square where matters virtual to the future of humanity are debated. So Musk said that in his statement today. He went on to say, "I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source, to increase trust, and defeating the spam bots and authenticating all humans." Those last parts didn't sound so bad to me. But my biggest concern, and the first thing that I thought of when I heard about this news today, was if he's all about free speech and Twitter has been cracking down on misinformation and banning some very key accounts in the last few years, what does that mean? That means Trump is coming back. Trump returns. Trump returns. Dun, dun, dun. Cue the fucking Star Wars Empire fucking music. What do
First,
you
let me say I do believe Trump is coming back, but he did go on record today on, I believe it was on Fox News. And then he did say on record that he has no interest in coming back to the platform.
Did Trump said
Obviously,
that,
we
or-
don't believe him. No, Trump.
Oh
said,
yeah.
Trump said. Obviously, nobody believes
Of course he's
that.
gonna come back.
Well, yeah, he coming back. He just does.
Oh yeah, he got
just
heat to
wants-
pay now. DeSantis is
Yeah.
going to run for president. He has heat. Trump got to do something.
I never thought I'd say this, but I just never thought I'd want DeSantis to win an election. But if Trump comes back and DeSantis runs against him, good God, Godspeed DeSantis is all I have to say. But do you think that this is a milestone and kind of marks the end of days for us?
No,
That's where my head's at.
You go ahead, because I'd go
End
on
of
for hours.
times, however you want to say it. End days and
Listen,
times.
I'll jump in. Listen, I have been laughing my ass off all day of all the people that are absolutely trying to jump from the highest mountaintop and jump from the highest building to commit Twitter suicide. This is high comedy. Like, I need people to breathe. I need people to chill out. This is not the first social-ish media site that has ever been bought. People have bought newspapers, and newspapers are the only main way to communicate to the masses. People have bought newscasts and broadcasting stations, and that was the only way to successfully speak to the masses. They've done the same thing with radio. This is no different. Chill out. Breathe.
I don't know if I
You're
can
going to
breathe.
survive. You're
I don't know if I
going
can-
to be okay. Everybody thought that the medium at that time, that was the most powerful medium at that time, was going to be the end of days. It wasn't.
It's
History
really Trump coming back the end of
always
days.
repeats itself.
Do you
No,
really not
I-
think that Trump
I don't-
coming back is not continuing of the end of days? Because I am fully in that camp right now, and I will not breathe, sir. I will not breathe.
no, I'm not too worried about Trump. There's worse than Trump out there.
Oh my
And
God.
it's younger
You
and worse
guys.
and more handsome.
There's way worse than
Way
Trump
worse.
out there in these
there's
worlds.
Richard Spencer in the world. There's Richard Spencers all over the world. There's Gavin McGinnis, for example,
Who that?
the
Who
guy that
that?
created Proud Boys.
Oh, that guy. Oh, there's Madison Cawthorn.
Yeah, there's a
Is
bunch.
he a new, he's a new thing?
There's
right?
a bunch of little pretty boys out there that
Yeah, he's
are
actually
itching.
legitimately handsome though. Hopefully he
Yeah.
doesn't get any traction, because that guy could be a weapon for sure. Anyways, I think Trump coming back, I'm firmly in that camp. But Trump aside, do you think that if Elon Musk takes over Twitter, which is happening now,
Mhm.
and he implements these changes that he says he wants to make, with some people who actually agree with, do you think he will improve the platform? Is he going to make it a better place, or is he going to deconstruct the system of rules that already exist to cement further chaos? Which way does it go?
Further chaos.
Yeah.
The moment you put an edit button on on Twitter, people are going to change what they say.
Isn't that a good thing though?
No, because
People say a lot of stupid shit on Twitter. Don't you want them
and
to
say-
be like,
and somebody
that was
says
kinda
F,
dumb."
if somebody says F you niggers, and then all of a sudden they change it back to chiggers or something like that because somebody called it, that there's no record of it. The one thing about a tweet is
I
there's
think
a
it's
record.
the internet. There will be a record. People will have records of it.
No, they'd be
There's
like,
going to
they
be
doing that
bots that
summer.
creates
they
records.
doctored it. The same way they said that Kim Kardashian said that she didn't say women
But
need to go
let's
get a
just think.
job.
Let's just think about this, because come on, like, is it okay? If whatever, who cares if they edit? But whatever they say that lasts, that after the edit period has elapsed and you cannot edit anymore, like, isn't what lasts the thing that matters more than the initial gut reaction, which everybody has on Twitter already? Like, isn't just having an opportunity to just have a second thought about the trigger reaction you just had, is that not a good thing? I feel like that's a fucking great thing.
No, my
Let
thing
people
is
rethink.
show some restraint and think about what you say before you say it, and know that you follow the consequences like everybody else in the world.
I see where you both
It's
are
like
coming
it's
from.
edited
I'm
in
kind of leaning
history.
a little bit more towards Summer, just for the simple fact that now you can't run for anything. Even if you if you are somebody who has like more than 100,000 followers, hell, if you're somebody who has more than like 50,000 followers, the instant, and I mean the instant you post it, somebody's taking a screenshot.
Or
That
there's so many bots
screenshot
that
is
just
going to
capture it,
happen
yeah.
a lot faster than you are going to be able to retract that
But
statement.
people said I didn't say it. I didn't. That was me. They doctored that.
People do
picture.
that
That's not
anyways.
real.
I mean,
They did
shit,
that. I know it.
we got police officers that have been filmed beating the hell out of black folks,
Mhm.
and you see the evidence. So that doesn't change the narrative.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
never going to change.
We have a cameo.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
She thinks there should be an edit button. She thinks there should be an edit button.
You know, only reason I'm
Oh,
gonna edit button is to correct my grammar, but there's gonna be people that are gonna sit there and change things on the fly all the time.
People gonna change it anyways, man. We
Yeah,
are
leave it up
past
there. Leave it up there.
we are past the point of what you see in plain sight right in front of you.
Mhm.
Is we're way on past that. It's all about forcing the narrative and changing the perception after whatever egregious thing you have done has been done. An edit button's not going to change that. Not having one or having one, nothing changes. I think people are going to be very disappointed in the fact that not a whole lot more is going to happen on Twitter. Nothing that's good. Like I think people have this idea that there's like thousands of white supremacists lurking in the caves, and they're going to find out
they're
where
right
you
in
live
front.
and knock down your door. They never left.
They've been right in the front row.
They've always been
You're just
there.
not getting merch their info.
At least now we can see them. You know, it's kind of like living in California and like living in the South. Racism in the South is really in your face. But the one thing I will appreciate it in the South is that it's in your face. You see it. There's nobody holding
You
their
said the
tongue.
South.
No, well, I mean, I'm just
I
saying.
say, go to Modesto, go to Bakersfield.
Well, even more so now. Whereas sometimes if you live on the left coast, people will smile in your face considerably more and still have those same thought process that somebody in Tupelo, Mississippi might have, or whatever it is. You know, I'd rather see the person that don't like me and know where I can point them out. So nothing changes for me. In the American narrative, bigots saying whatever it is they want to say and getting away with it. So you're telling me it's Thursday? Is that what you're telling me? Nothing changes. Nothing.
Okay. Oh, there's some other features that he plans to change too. All right. He said he's going to defeat spam bots, which could be a great thing. Right. I think a lot of misinformation comes out through. Also, they're just fucking annoying. Like, no, I don't want to buy your free 99 bullshit. And then also like authenticating all humans. Is that not also a good thing? Like, do you think that these changes could make Twitter better? Because it's such a big echo chamber. Yeah. Okay.
Who's human?
Look, I'm down with all of these changes that he's proposing. I just don't want Trump back. That's the end of times. I'm just gonna come back.
Trump is going to be back.
And there's worse things than Trump.
The megaphone. Why does Elon? What the fuck? Do you think he voted for Trump? What the fuck is with Elon?
I just think he thinks that Trump has the right to have a voice.
I think he's having a midlife crisis. Instead of buying a Ferrari, he bought a platform.
Yeah. Let's talk about. Trump has a right. He's the fucking president. He had the megaphone of all megaphones. Yes, we're siphoning his right to be a citizen. Shut the fuck up, like Elon Musk. Shut the fuck up, right? Freedom of speech is not the same as like fucking shouting fire in a crowded movie theater, right? That's Trump constantly. Okay. Anyways, Musk laid out his plan for funding the deal in an SEC filing on Thursday, which includes $25.5 billion in loans, so we can't buy it outright. Is he broke? I'm just kidding. And $21 billion in personal equity. Okay, not so much broke. Analysts believe that the loans could be it's a little bit more equity than I have. Just saying. Analysts believe that the loans could cost Twitter as much as $1 billion a year, and servicing fees are roughly 20% of the company's annual revenue. But the thing is, like, Twitter, as far as I know, and somebody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, Twitter doesn't really make that much money in the first place. That was my the thing that was most puzzling to me is that, like, why are you spending so much money for this when this isn't gonna make you money? Twitter is notoriously difficult to advertise.
It's not about the money. It's like trying to buy a Ferrari and you're disappointed that it gets bad gas mileage. You're not buying it for that. You're not buying it to make money.
I will give you that, but then it's going to be expensive for him to sustain, because if he continues to make these changes, making it open source, like you're basically like revealing all your trade secrets by doing something like that. He's possibly going to make the platform even more toxic by allowing certain people here again. Right. So you buy a company that is already just not very profitable to begin with, if at all, which I don't even know if it is. But then you're going to make it even less like revenue generating overall. then he's just sunk cost after sunk cost, and he's going to have to keep sinking money. And at what point do you let it go because it's just too expensive to maintain? That's what I feel like is going to happen. And why? He knows what's going to happen. He's not stupid.
It's not about the dough. The reason why he bought it is because of this conversation that we're having right now. It's because it puts his name in the light. He gets to show off his shiny brand new toy in front of everybody. He gets to piss people off and watch people have to deal with it. And he gets to power to control it. It's not about, once you reach a certain amount of money, it's not about the dough. It's about power. It's about ego.
Yeah, it's not about money.
It's not had nothing to do. That thing could probably bleed money, billions of dollars every year, and he can give a damn.
That's all right.
Is he really that rich? That's crazy.
Yeah,
I just can't get my head around that.
They're still hammering emeralds out in the mines in Africa.
He's got so many other. That's the thing when you have multiple income sources. Yeah, you can give a damn about that one. This isn't like his only thing. It's not like Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. That's like his only bag. You know how many other different bags he's got? You know how many government subsidies he's got backing other projects? Yeah, why? Who cares about Twitter?
He has a lot of military contracts. He's beholden to a lot of military contracts and government contracts.
Yeah.
But he's known for being a smart, astute businessman, though. So
no, he's not. He's not. But he hired a bunch of smart and astute businessmen.
About that. This man just bought Twitter, and you don't think he's an astute businessman?
That's what I'm saying.
I was about to say.
Doesn't feel like it's consistent with. I mean, he's taken Tesla to a pretty good spot. I mean, like he
was a different person then, though. He was a different businessman back then, just like we all grow.
Well, he had different
growing as a businessman.
He had different businessmen behind him. Running the company.
You can say a lot of things about him, but you can't say he's a bad businessman. He's not a bad businessman.
Hiring the best people to build his companies out. That's what he's doing.
I feel like he's scheming behind the scenes and we don't know the full picture yet. I know it has something to do with the SEC too, because he's like in a battle with them.
He's a rich white dude with an ego.
Yeah.
This is really quite the expensive,
$44
cry
billion.
for attention.
It's $44 billion.
Yes,
he's personally worth $268 billion.
Like I've thrown less expensive tantrums in my life. I'm proud of them, but they haven't cost
to him. It's not expensive. It's $44 billion. I'll make that back in 2 years. I'll make that back in 2 years.
And you know how people on that level are. They don't buy stuff with their own money. Like you said, he only paid like 21 billion of his own up, and I doubt it was his own. He probably borrowed that too.
Probably so.
It's like whatever. Money to him is like monopoly money.
He has beat every car manufacturer in the world. There's car manufacturers making cars for over 100 years. He's toppled them in value.
I feel like
produces less cars. He's toppled Toyota. Toyota's an 80-year-old company, and he produces less cars than them. Effectively and efficiently produces less cars than them in a year. And his car company's worth more. How?
Yeah. I feel like the super rich men of the world, Elon Musk is on paper at least the richest man in the world, as far as most of us know. But a lot of people say that might be Putin too. It's just more secret.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's him.
More than likely is Putin.
Yeah. So we have the richest man in the world just buying just town square and in some people's eyes, democracy, freedom of speech itself. Right. And then he's also just like fucking around in space with Jeff Bezos and like a dick-shaped space shuttle. And, just basically buying up, like our ability to govern ourselves. And I just feel like these rich men are stepping out of line just a little bit too often. And so my thought is, do we revolt at dawn? Because I feel like they're kind of going a little too far. Don't you think? Because like, how can this much money not be, how can it be expendable? Like that just means you're too rich. There is a point where you have too much money, and that's what I keep coming back to. Like, how did we allow this to be a thing? Well, it's just become a thing anyways, right? We don't have to talk about how we got here, but there is going to be a consequence. These fucking rich men are stepping out of line way too often, making it way too obvious how much inequality there is. And I think we will revolt at a dawn at least sometime soon.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I'm ready. I think there's enough poor middle class white men that say my team is winning. My team is winning. We're pushing it down on 90% of the world's population. We're winning.
I would want to disagree with you so bad, man. But you're
My
right.
team is
The narrative is tribalism at its best, and people who think that they are a part of a tribe and they're not even remotely a part of that tribe. You know, you got people that are like, white trash that think that they can just give enough opportunity. I could be Elon Musk too. No, you can't. No. But they feel that they are a part of that tribe. They feel that they are not going to get the sledgehammer cracking down on their head like the rest of us. It's some weird pride thing that they have going on. And that is why, it's the reason why you saw what happened when they raided the Capitol. It's not, you don't see billionaires in there running their raiding the Capitol. It was a bunch of poor, raggedy folks doing it. Go ahead.
Just a slap on the wrist. Just a slap on the wrist.
So they
no. You stay down, little white man.
Yeah, the narrative is going to maintain there being them sustaining that type of power. It's not like in France. What was it, Versailles, when the poor people were like, we're tired of this, we're absolutely sick of this, and they stormed the walls. Well, that's because everywhere you looked it was rubbed in your face of how poor you were, and then you looked up and you see this beautiful castle sitting in a hill where the wealth is absolutely insane. Like, you see it every single day. We don't have that. It's different.
Yeah.
We look at the door. We look at the door and see one thing, and then we hop on Twitter and say we're another. And then we actually believe that fake person, that fake digital persona, and you trick yourself into believing something that you are not.
I think we can all be right at the same time. I think what you're saying is absolutely right, but that doesn't mean that like the fucking end of times is coming soon. Then I just want you to know, and anybody who's been watching the show should know this from if they've been watching since around before this time last year. I think I will acknowledge that my view has changed and it has become deeply cynical. I used to be the optimist here. Never quite as optimistic as
look
you.
At this. Summer.
You're the real optimist realist.
Who are
but let me just finish the thought. I think that the tribalism has gotten so deep, and the whites are in their fucking vortex information hole. Yes, I agree with you that they do see that their man is winning, right? But I also think that they've been spun up about these lies, and they're so completely isolated and gone fucking batshit crazy. They're somehow, they are the ones that are revolting first. Like, we should be the ones that are mad, right? But somehow they've lost their shit and they've attacked our country, the ones that they're like defending, right? I think that is going to continue to happen. I think this is spreading, like diverging inequality is just going to keep getting more and more extreme. And I legit think the end of times is coming. And as I said it, this is the official moment of transition between me being an optimist to me being a cynical dystopian fortune teller of the future. The end of times I think it started a while ago, actually. I think I'm just late to the game.
No, I think
fascism is growing.
I think right now they're shooting up Roman candle fireworks for what's happening.
They're going to revolt.
You said it your best. They supported. Why did they support Trump? Because he's rich. And he doesn't give a shit about no one. He's ideally what they want to be.
What they want to be.
And they're going to support that to the day they die. They're going to tell their kids and their grandkids and their great grandkids. There was a great president named Donald Trump who had the niggers and spics and Arabs scared to death of him.
Arabs too.
Yeah, he had them scared to death of him. And that's what we need back in this country. I hope you grow up to be just like him.
Mm-hmm. Our producer behind the scenes is just piling fascism on the rise. Climate change is he's with me. I can tell he's with just from the chats I'm seeing.
Not fascism.
I honestly, this is a real question. How do you guys think this is not the end of times? Like, the world is on an accelerated downhill fucking ice luge of disaster. We are going to sink into the pits of hell very soon. But you know what? It's going to be really sparkly and fun along the way because somebody's going into space. And then as in the meantime, California is burning and so is Australia. And, like I live in Santa Monica and soon water levels will be up. Okay, now I'm just kind of spiraling.
Listen,
I think you got it. I don't understand how you don't think it's the end of time. So it's just so plain and clear.
Every generation thinks their generation is the generation that's going to spawn the end of days. Every generation, every turn of the century, everyone. Now, there was an argument for the baby boomers whose parents actually got a chance to see something on the brink when it came to World War II. There's a little bit of an argument on that because people were legitimately like annihilating themselves But
yeah,
but if you think about it, every generation, when the Byzantine Empire, when the Roman Empire came, I'm sure when the Egyptian Empire did their thing, when the American Empire, there's always going to be somebody who's going to think it's the end of days. Well, it's not the end of days. It's just change and transition.
yeah.
And that is always uncomfortable. And somebody is going to get the shit end of that change and transition stick. And unfortunately, it's people that look like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, me.
Yeah, but
you
it's
can
interesting,
say-
right? Like there's conversations now. We have more humans than ever before. You know what the reason they say we have more humans? There ain't enough humans being killed in war. There are not
that's really
enough.
tough.
Famine.
We're at this is the
That's
lowest
even more
point of
cynical than
war
I am
in
right
human
now.
history.
That's pretty
We're at the
dark.
lowest point of war and murder in human history. They're like, we got too many humans. We got to start killing. We got to start killing.
I can't think of it. Oh my God.
This is so dark.
So
Okay.
dark.
I might.
It's
I
real
might-
though.
Dark.
That's
Fucking
real.
Elon
That
got
is a
us
real
on something.
conversation.
He's like,
that they
we're here.
have at Davos
Right.
at the economic forum. They have this conversation. We have more humans than we care to have on planet Earth, and the reason is because there's no wars, there's no violence.
Chuck,
And it's cutting into money and it's cutting into resources. These conversations actually happen.
I don't know if
on
you're
the
off
floor.
the deep end yet. Let's just talk about the Illuminati while we're at it. Like,
No,
come
it's
on.
not the Illuminati. You can go online and go to the economic forum and watch the videos on YouTube. You'd be like, wow, people actually talk like this.
Why is it that people feel that Twitter is the end all? Like, there's always something.
Oh,
new.
yeah.
Like,
Oh no, it's
like,
not Twitter.
everybody
Let me be clear. I don't think it's Twitter being brought. Who the fuck cares about Twitter? If it's Donald Trump coming back, that's what I think. he's gonna reactivate his account. Donald Trump is gonna come back. He's going to resurge into the mainstream once again because now, for the most part, liberals who don't want to hear about him, yeah, I mean, he's still here, but not like before. Right. But with Twitter, he's going to be back on Twitter and we're going to have to fucking listen to him all the time. And because of that, he's going to win the election, and he's going to be our president again. And that's, I know you guys don't disagree with me on that one. Yeah, I made the mistake. I made the mistake the first time around thinking that it was, I made the mistake the first time around being surprised that he was elected. But now I'm like, it's definitely going to happen.
No,
that's the end of times. That's going to really solidify the end of times.
You know what black people
I almost want him to get reelected so we could just get it fucking over with, and then he can't do it again. He can't loom over us.
You know what black people are
Chuck's about to say something enlightening.
You know why
Chuck.
black people are not shocked by Trump? Because we see Trump run in office every day. 90% of the politicians are just like Trump. It don't matter what party they from.
Isn't it good that they at least try to keep it a secret, though? He didn't even try to keep it a secret.
They don't keep it a secret to us because we know all the dog whistles. We hear all the dog whistles. We hear all the subtleties.
Yeah.
You know, you people wasn't a thing till we told y'all that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Y'all thought he was just talking to us. No, we know all the dog whistles. You know why? Because we have my aunt who put on her best Sunday dress with my other aunt who's her twin sister at 7 years old and get hit in the eye with a water cannon. At 7. You know why? Because they wanted to go to the same damn schools. They didn't want to go to the same schools. They wanted the same books. We didn't want to go to your school. We just want the same books.
Isn't it good that they're kind of like embarrassed of their views, though? Like,
no, they're not embarrassed of their views.
No, but
what part of America you live in?
Isn't it good that they hide it a little bit? I know that
Where do they hide it?
time. But now they're just like blatant about it. They're like literally trying to ban books again. Like, come on, guys, we had a moment in time where
but you gotta realize they literally told us do not drink from this water fountain.
They're not trying to hide anything.
Like, that's what I'm saying. They ain't no hiding.
It was
literally people swinging from trees. Like, I know it's traumatic to see this version of America because culturally speaking, a lot of people just aren't aware of the history of our country. And our country is built on a lot of blood and injustice. And there's this weird thing that's going on with a lot of other minority groups who may have had a different experience and they're shocked. And I think Chuck hit something, the nail right on the head. When you grew up and your grandparents are telling you these stories and your parents and your aunties are telling you these stories of horrendous things, horrible, despicable acts. And then you see something like he buys Twitter. I'm worried about Donald Trump getting on Twitter. It's like we are very aware of what has happened before. Like, and so it can get far worse way worse than you could even remotely believe. So I want to know where those people are. I need to see, let them speak. If Donald Trump's going to say what he's going to say, these terrible people are going to do them regardless of the platform, regardless of Donald Trump, whoever Donald Trump's successor is going to be. It don't end and begin with Trump. Trump is just the tip of the spear for the moment. You know how many other unlimited moments are right behind him, and who's next up? Like we've seen this over and over and over again. I'm just saying, welcome to the party. There's coffee in the back. We meet on Wednesdays.
Yes, yeah.
This party.
This is it. I mean, I think Orlando Jones said it best in The American Gods. Every 30 seconds, a Black girl gets snatched up and gone. There's no Amber Alert. There's nothing for every 30 seconds in this country disappears off the face of the planet. They don't find the bones, they don't find the bodies, and they only look for them every 30 seconds.
I don't know how you guys don't get lost in anger if this was your experience the entire time, because I will admit, I think you guys make a good point. This is something that is new to me. I mean, it's not like I grew up white, but I also didn't grow up Black. So I admit that I did not have the same experience. And I certainly didn't have my relatives, my ancestors teaching me along the way that it's been fucked up the entire time. I was raised under the delusion.
Since we literally set foot on the ground, it was like, congratulations, me fucked up.
I had the misfortune of being raised with the delusion that it's bad, but it's like, not as bad.
Shoot, crazy.
That was clearly a lie. I'm figuring that out. All right. I'm having my response to that. Or just let me have my fucking moment. I get it. I'm just catching up to the party. However, my question is, how do you not get lost in the fucking...
What else we gonna do?
What did James Baldwin say? James Baldwin said, to be Black in America is to live in a constant state of rage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What else are we going to do? If we say anything or do anything, they kill us. The erasure for Black people is so high. They erase 30% of all Black men just for walking down the street. There's Black men that go to jail just for walking down the street if they don't get killed. There was a little boy who was on a bicycle who the cops were told by a store clerk that he stole some Doritos. They clotheslined a little 8-year-old boy off his bike, threw his bike on the side of the road and put him in handcuffs and threw him in the cop car. He's like, I don't even know what y'all doing to me. They told him to shut up and get in the car. He's 8.
So are you guys just like the Hulk all the time, constantly suppressing and hiding the anger?
No. Yo, there was a meme. That's funny you said that.
It just comes. This is Tuesday. This is Monday.
It's Thursday. Yeah, it's just a Tuesday.
Monday.
There's a funny meme I saw. And it was Miles Morales, and he was talking to Peter Parker. And Peter Parker was telling him, he was like, listen, if you ever feel like you're in danger, you're going to feel like a tingle. And Miles was like, what do you mean a tingle? I feel a tingle all the time. He was like, that's not supposed to happen. And he was like, oh. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but you deal with it.
Yeah, you just deal with it.
It's not the end of days. It's not going to be the end of days.
This is part of it.
It's definitely the end of American hegemony. That's for sure. I'll say that.
I have,
but maybe that's okay. I don't want the pressure of being the world's leader. This is just embarrassing, and how we're fucking up so bad anyway. So maybe that's better.
Love your fellow man. Know that it can get better. It can get better. I do believe that it can get better.
It's not enough.
But no, it is also capable of getting far worse.
Far worse.
Stay hopeful. Stay hopeful.
I say
change is inevitable. It's just a question of how it's going to change. But it's inevitable. Nothing is going to stay the same. Yeah. It's inevitable.
Well, fans, audience, you heard it here first. We revolt at dawn. We revolt at dawn. All right, that's our show tonight. Don't forget to wake up early for the revolution. All right, shout out to Ronnie for maintaining the show and our antics tonight. Thank you so much for out there in Twitter. Fucking not Twitter land, YouTube land, Facebook land, wherever you're watching this. And don't forget that we're on podcast form now. So you can listen to our voices without seeing the rage that is just barely underneath the surface of my face visually. So anyways, subscribe. Take it for the updates. We revolted on.
I'm sorry.
Bye, guys.
No, you're like, oh yeah, by the way,